Hey guys, so today I'm going to be starting a reading vlog for A Court of Frost and Starlight by Sarah J. Maas because I have been highly anticipating this book for a while now, and I've never done one of these vlogs where I kind of shared my reactions and thoughts as I'm reading the book, so that's what today's video is going to be. And I think it goes without saying, but I will say it anyways, that this video will definitely contain spoilers because the whole video is just going to be me talking about what happens in this book and how I feel about the things that are happening in this book. All right, so I'm at page 29 and we just had our first Cassian chapter, which honestly I was hoping for a little more from the first time that we got a different character perspective besides Feyre and Rhys. But yeah, I feel like he can take off a bit. It was a completely introspective chapter. So nothing too exciting happened, but I still now want to know more about him, and we hear about his mom, and that's kind of his reasons for this feminist riot he's starting at the Illyrian war camp, and I'm all for it. I think it's gonna be a good thing. I'm ready for these Illyrian men to kind of see that women are more than just cookers and cleaners. Cookers, that's not a word. You know what I mean? We kind of just see the word Nesta, where he's just like talking about her. Where was he? Even in his thoughts, her name clanged through him hollow and cold, which I need more. I need this interaction to happen. I think they're gonna see each other in a few days, so I'm so excited. I just wanted to say here that I am loving how the winter solstice is their equivalent of Christmas, and all the descriptions just make me want Christmas so bad, and maybe to read this again when it's Christmas time. I mean, they talk about an evergreen wreath being on the door, brass bells hanging in the windows of shops, and then she walks outside and there's this red cart selling hot chocolate, and the air smells like pine cones and roasting hazelnuts, and I want to be in Valaris during their solstice because it's basically Valaris at Christmas and it sounds amazing. So yeah, I just wanted to pipe in here and say I hope this whole book is like just based around this 1 week or so. I almost feel like it's getting set up to be that way, but we'll see. Either way, I'm loving all the Christmas. I kind of want to put some Christmas music on in the background because that's just so the feeling I'm getting right now reading this. So that's all I have for now. All right, so page 48, we learn that fairies have really horrible periods. It's honestly kind of like dying twice a year, but it brings it into the topic of her and Rhys having a child, and I really feel like they're gonna have a child or at least get pregnant in this book. I mean, she mentions, oh, it doesn't seem like the right time, blah blah blah. It's so hard for Faye to conceive, but I'm like, you wouldn't make it seem so difficult unless it was gonna happen, you know? I really just don't understand the point of this description of a horrific period, though. That's one thing that, like, was this necessary? Continuing, but I just wanted to share that theory now on page 48, and we'll see what happens. All right, so I'm half a cup of tea in, trying to revitalize myself and keep reading. I'm on page 74 and realizing there is so much I've forgotten in this series. The series has so many characters and so many plots that I've forgotten about, and it's like I can remember pieces of it as I'm getting reminded of, but then I forget again. Like, for example, when Mor and Feyre and Rhys go to the hewn city and Eris is there, and she's having these flashbacks to when Mor was like nailed to the ground and Eris didn't help her and just said like, I would never be with a girl who was with an Illyrian, essentially. So I vaguely remember something about Eris doing that, but for a reason for good. Like, I don't remember the specifics, but I feel like it was either in A Court of Mist and Fury or in A Court of Wings and Ruin, where there was a reason why he didn't help Mor, and I forget the reason. So I think I need to go back and read the Wikipedia article. Also, another thing that just happened, they mentioned Baraxis, and there was that interaction, I believe, with Cassian and Baraxis, and something happened. I feel like I need to read this whole series again because I've constantly being reminded of everything I've forgotten. Also, just relationshipy related, Asriel is like kind of not talking about Elaine, but like I kind of know there's something there. I don't know if it's gonna happen. I feel like so far this whole book is building up to the winter solstice and like stuff is really gonna go down. I'm just trying to be patient until we get there, But yeah, in the meanwhile, I'm just gonna sit here confused and trying to remember all the subplots from all of the books that I've just forgotten about. Things are about to happen. So everyone's at the townhouse right now. Amryn just walked in, which is the first time we've seen Amryn this whole book, and I love the first thing Cassian says to her, page 101, is, "You look like an angry snowball." So yeah, I'm happy. The gang's all here except Nesta, and I feel like she's gonna come in like real spicy. All right, currently page 120. Nesta didn't come to dinner, but Nesta decided that she was just gonna spend her time in this tavern, and I just wonder how much longer Nesta is going to be mad for. And now she's gonna be super angry because Favor isn't gonna pay her rent unless she comes to the solstice party. So, I mean, that's not the way to get a sister to do something you want them to. So really curious how this anger fest is gonna play out at the actual solstice. So it really does make sense that Nesta has found like a friend in Amryn. I don't know why I didn't see it before, but that makes me real excited because, as I've mentioned in a few of my other A Court of Mist and Fury, Wings and Ruin talks, Amryn is one of my favorite characters in the Court of Dreams. And I just, page 139, she does a jigsaw puzzle, so she really is the best. Another update. I'm on page 175, and it is finally solstice, and they just brought out the cake for her, which total flashbacks to the first A Court of Thorns and Roses, the way that Elaine decorated it with the different layers, and I just thought that was so sweet. And then I needed to share my theory. So at the end of this scene, she's making a wish and she's looking at her family and her friends and Reese, and I'm like, going back to my original theory I mentioned, but I think she's wishing for a child. It just seems really obvious to me. If it's not this, I'm gonna be shocked, but that's just where I feel this is headed. So we'll see. Page 188. So solstice evening had ended, Nesta came, and I was like, okay, there was not enough drama in this evening for me. But it ends with Cassian running out after her. So let's see what happens in chapter 21. It's a Cassian chapter, so I'm excited. Page 191, we have a flashback. The last book, and we're bringing up some Nessian information here. I have no regrets in my life but this, that we did not have enough time. And I'm so excited for what Cassian is going to say to Nesta. I just want to skip ahead, but I also want to just see it unfold. I feel like this chapter is what we are waiting for this whole book. All of the drama of Cassian and Nesta has finally come out. Page 192, he calls her on everything and how she's not even trying and how she has these great sisters who love her and she should, you know, make an effort for them. And then she walks away and he throws his gift for her into the river, and now we have our first Nesta perspective. Can you see that? I'm so excited. So it's 100% confirmed. They're trying to have a child now. Page 207, it talks about the beautiful blue-eyed, dark-haired boy that the bone carver had once shown me, that promise of the future. So yeah, I guess it's now explicitly stated. I wonder if it's gonna happen in the next book. It feels like something that would happen in like the finale of the next series. I don't think it's gonna happen immediately because they just always talk about how hard it is for fairies to have children. So I'm curious about how this is going to play out. And also, I have a final thought on Nesta, because honestly her perspective was only 2 or 3 pages, not even 2 full pages. She's definitely depressed and suffering from PTSD, which is very similar to what Feyre was dealing with in the beginning of A Court of Mist and Fury. So if they could just talk about it together, I feel like they would be able to help each other, but okay, I'll leave it there. It's a few hours later and I finished A Court of Frost and Starlight pretty much right after I filmed the last clip, but I've had a couple hours to process the ending because I did finish it. and I have come to a couple conclusions. The first being that it really felt like just an extended epilogue. The second being that I actually didn't mind it though. I think I didn't have any expectations for this novella. I just knew that it was supposed to bridge the gap between the events from Akawar and then her new series. So I didn't really have any expectations because I didn't really know what she could manage to do in just one short book. And this book really kind of was just like that. It was just a bridge. There wasn't anything super crazy or exciting, super deep plot development or new characters or really anything that wild that happened. There were just a couple of tidbits of information that you get, but it doesn't exactly seem like an integral part to the whole story, which I'm okay with because I still liked reading about these characters. I love reading about Valaris, and I really loved that the setting was a set around the winter solstice, which was essentially Christmas in Valaris, and I just love the descriptions of it. I do wish we could have had a little bit more of Cassian and Nesta and Azriel and Moore and Elaine, Lucian, all those other characters that I'd really come to love in the series, but I honestly think Sarah J Maas is saving them for her next series, and she didn't want to do anything super crazy with these characters in this book because she's gonna like go all in with them, fully fleshed out in her actual series. So I can see why she didn't do anything super pivotal in their plots, although I wanted that to happen, and although I still want to see them, I know that she's just saving it for us, so I'm not even really that mad about it. And also, even the ending, I don't know if anyone else, I think all the versions have this, but there is this sneak peek to the first chapter or so of her next book, and it starts off with a Nesta perspective, and then it goes to a Cassian one, so I'm already like into it. I mean, it already starts off with a bang. That next book is going to be great, I'm pretty sure, especially just based off of the first chapter that's put in the back of this book. So I'm already excited. So yes, A Court of Frost and Starlight wasn't like a thrill ride or insanely crazy in any way, but it was still really nice. If you like the characters and you've liked their story so far, it's just a nice read. It's like a really chill, you have a day off kind of thing, you might as well pick up this book and just have a good time. So those are my final thoughts. I had avoided reading anything about this book until now because I didn't want to be spoiled in any way if it was that people liked it or they didn't like it. So I've tried to avoid seeing any even like commentary on their thoughts from it, but I can safely look at that now, and I'm in the like category. Not my favorite book for sure, but still something that I'm happy I read. So if you've read it, please share your thoughts below with me and let's get talking about it. Thanks for watching and happy reading.